Hi y'all, and welcome back to Cami's Kitchen. I am super excited to share this recipe with y'all because it is an absolute crowd pleaser. I literally take this to Christmas parties, birthday parties, wherever I have to bring anything, and it's always a hit. The best part, it's handheld, so my kids absolutely love it, and it's packed full of delicious veggies that they will never know are there. Let's get started. All of our filling is going to be made in this one pan, so make sure it's large enough to accommodate at least one whole tray of chicken and veggies. Add a generous amount of your cooking oil of choice. Mine is avocado oil. I recommend using chicken thighs for this recipe. They are the only ones that I have managed to get to cook really quickly. I also like to clean them up a little bit. I buy the boneless, skinless tray, and I still feel like I get a lot of little pieces of fat, so I just like to clean them up a little bit and make sure you open them up so they're nice and flat. Next, we're gonna take your seasoning of choice and season these fillets really quick. Front to back, nothing crazy. Make sure all of them get seasoned. And I'm using my favorite chupacabra seasoning, and this one is specifically made for poultry. It's Cluckalicious, so definitely recommend that one if you don't have a favorite yet. Once you're happy with your seasoning, it is time to add to the pan. Remember, this pan is really hot, so be careful because your oil will most definitely try to go everywhere. After about 5 minutes, you'll notice that the color will start to change on the bottom side of the chicken. That means it's time to turn. You should have a nice, almost crispy golden color on the bottom side. If they're too light, just turn them back around and let them cook for a little longer. Once your chicken is completely cooked through, we're gonna start removing it from the hot pan and putting it onto a cutting board. It is super important that you do not wash this pan. All of these delicious pieces of chicken that are stuck to the bottom of your pan are gonna give our stuffing the most incredible flavor ever, trust me. Next thing we're gonna do is make sure our chicken is cut super nice and small. Ideally, you want to get it as small as you can, but if you don't want to mess with it, then I would just try to get it into cubes at the very least. Also, if you want to try this and don't have a lot of time, what you can do is just buy a whole rotisserie chicken and just chop it up really tiny, and it will literally save you 50% of the work. You want your chicken to rest while we cut up our veggies, so you want to just put it in a bowl and set it aside. The base of our stuffing is going to be fresh garlic and leeks. Leeks are one of the most underrated things to cook with, I think, ever. They're actually part of the onion family, and they're sweet, mild, and bring out the most delicious flavor in any dish. Because I'm using a smaller tray of chicken for this recipe, I am actually only going to cut up 2 leeks because they are pretty large. Just treat them like you would a green onion, cut the end off, and only cut to about where it starts turning really dark green. Once that's prepped, let's go ahead and heat up our stovetop. You should still have a good amount of oil in your pan. If not, go ahead and add a little more, followed by a good amount of fresh garlic, and lastly, your leeks. I'm gonna stir it up just a little bit, and if you notice that your pan is a little dry, we're gonna go ahead and add some chicken stock or chicken broth. That chicken broth will also help all those delicious little pieces of chicken that were stuck to the bottom of your pan lift up and help create that delicious foundation we want for our sauce. Turn it on to medium-high and close the lid. If you have picky eaters like I do, try this recipe. I promise you, if your child has never eaten a carrot, they're about to, and they're about to love it. I don't know if I'm the first one to just learn this. I was literally yesterday old when I found out that you could do this with a peeler. I thought you would just have to go like this the whole time, right? Does anybody else do that? Because apparently with this, you can go both ways. And it cuts twice as fast. Oh my gosh, if you don't get anything from this video, I hope that somebody tries this at home and like I save you a lot of time. You should be noticing that as you stir, There's not as much on the bottom of this pan because the onion and the chicken broth will have lifted everything. Once your leeks are nice and soft, it's time to add the rest of your veggies in, which are gonna be your carrots and your mushrooms. The mushroom taste, I will say, comes through very prominently. So if for some reason you do not like mushrooms, I would substitute this for something else, like maybe potato, or just take it out altogether. Okay, I don't think I've ever chopped this much, and I can't tell you how long. Look at this. Okay, I may need to change my pan size now that I'm thinking about it, but we're just gonna try it. The mushrooms will get super tiny, and the carrots will basically disintegrate, so hopefully we'll be fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a good mix and then put the lid on. At this point, your veggies should cook very quickly since the only thing left was the mushrooms and the carrots. So we only have a few more steps. Now you wanna make sure you take out your empanada discs from the freezer or the fridge, wherever you had them. You wanna let them thaw out for at least 15 minutes before you stuff them. Your last two ingredients are gonna be what brings it all together. First is heavy cream. And lastly, freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. I would give it about maybe 5 minutes to let all that delicious flavor come through in that heavy cream, and then you can start trying it. No, that tastes so good. I will say the heavy cream really does dull the flavor. So if you didn't season your chicken well enough, this is your time to add a little more seasoning. Let's go ahead and add the chicken. Once you've mixed everything together and the mixture is nice and thick, it is super crucial that you remove it from the heat, turn off your stove top, and let it cool down. These empanada discs that we buy, they come straight from the fridge, and even if they're thawed out, you really need your stuffing to be at least at room temperature, if not cooler. Let's go ahead and preheat our oven to 375 and start taking these babies out. We're gonna take a baking tray, line it with parchment paper, and we're gonna start putting our discs down. Because these discs are very thin, do not try to put more than 2 scoops of stuffing into them. It's gonna look like not enough, but trust me when I say when you start folding them, it's gonna become really tight. And if you put too much in there, they're gonna just explode. We're gonna start closing them up. I usually like to pinch the edges until I get a good amount. And then you wanna take it over one side and start pinching down. If you have a fork nearby, super helpful because you can just use the edge of the fork and use that to pinch the edges to get that really nice seal. As a rule of thumb, 1 tray of chicken or 1 whole rotisserie chicken should give you enough stuffing for about 12 of these discs, assuming that you use the Goya brand because these discs are smaller. If you use puff pastry sheets, then the measurements will be a little off, so you'll have to kind of improvise. This is also a really easy way to fill it. If you think it's easier, hold the disc in your hand, fill it like a taco, and then just bring the ends together like this. You still will need the fork at the end to create this really nice little texture. Before we put our egg wash on, we have to give our empanadas room to breathe. So we want to give them a nice little poke with your fork. You do not want to skip this step, y'all. I know some people think that this may be optional just so it looks good. I promise you, this is what gives it that really crunchy texture that you want from an empanada straight out of the oven. In order to get that really nice gold color we want to keep these in here for 18 minutes. Oh, these look incredible. Moment of truth. Wow. There you have it, you guys. Perfect flaky dough on the outside and the most delicious, flavorful combination on the inside. I hope you guys try this recipe at home, especially if you have kids. How can you resist like something this good in like a little bite-sized pouch, like almost as good as pizza rolls? Thanks for watching, y'all.